The Allman Brothers story is a story of the South. And that is also my story. And the reason I call it Conversation from the Crossroads of Southern Music, History, and Culture is because I use history, and specifically the Allman Brothers history, to better understand my world. And it was a history of the New South. And I think we might have said this before. I mean, it blew my mind because that story is my dad. It's my grandparents in the South. I could go to my father and challenge him about a few things, and it just and I think what it did was I wasn't so afraid of the bad things that people had done in the past. I was like, okay, understand why we don't want to go down that road again, whatever that is. I mean, like you said, it's not even just a professional level, it's a fundamental kind of personal level. Like when you read about segregation in the American South and the efforts to keep the massive resistance against segregation, legit, capital M, capital R, massive resistance, it is pathetic. For a region of the country who was as poor as the South was, coming out of the Civil War and really all through as they made their transition from kind of farm labor, if you will, to mechanization. All of these resources come pouring in from the New Deal and the Great Society that the South conveniently forgets. And of course, black folk are always left, and that's the story of the South. We continue like these bad decisions in the present, and that's the part that influences me, not as a historian but as a citizen, right? So I really appreciate that. History is liberation. Unspoken there, but the undercurrent of that, the liberation that I mentioned, is because the Allman Brothers were so unabashedly both Southern as well as integrated, if you will. And it wasn't that they were civil rights pioneers. I wrote this in the book. They weren't intentionally including JMO in their band to make a statement. They were including JMO in their band because they loved what he brought to the music. JMO says repeatedly, and I quote him extensively in Play All Night, that the Allman Brothers Band played black music without the affect of white people playing it. That's cool in and of itself. But to me, the fact that they were an integrated band at this time that I was learning about the New South that I just talked about, how impactful that was for me, the goodness of the American South that's found within its music, and specifically this tree, its branches, its leaves, and its roots of the Allman Brothers Band in Southern music history and culture. Trust me, I'm a doctor.